Penguin Random House Audio presents A River Called Time by Courttia Newland. Read for you by Michael Obiora.
Geb timeline 5900 BC. First Tasseti Kushite kings recorded. 5600. First Cometian pharaoh recorded. 2500. Foundation of Kerma, Tasseti. 2300 to 1500. Origins of Hinduism grow from the Indus Valley. 1500. First Tasseti pyramid. 1600. First Cometian pyramid. 1000. Emergence of Abraham and beginning of Judaism. 900. King David forms Jewish empire in Israel and Lebanon. 463 to 383. Lifetime of Confucius. 304. Birth of Ashoka, Maurya, Buddhist king. 3 BC to AD 27. Lifetime of Jesus Christ. 50. Buddhism introduced to China. 213. Christianity tolerated in Roman Empire. Emperors favoring religions based on Cometian cosmology. Mart. 470 to 532. Lifetime of Muhammad, founder of Islam. 553. Quran written. 1245. Rise of Aztec civilization in Mexico. 1291 to 1375. First Dalai Lama in Tibet. 1369 to 1439. Lifetime of Guru Nanak, founder of Sikhism. 1392. Christopher Columbus lands in Guyana. Trade and intercultural relations begin, lasting centuries. 1434. Henry VIII declares himself head of the newly formed Anglican Kemetic Temple, separating from the Roman Kemetic Temple. 1635. Beginning of Hasidic Judaism. 1800 to 65. Lifetime of Professor Harmon Wallace, Kemetic scientist. 1814 to 18. The Flash War, or War of Light. Dinium City devastated for 123 square miles, known as Theblin. 1830 to 1910. Construction of the Ark. 2000 to 2020. Hane Galal's tenure as governor of the Ark. Part 1. Being and Becoming. The golden light of a candle flame sits upon the throne of its dark light that clings to the wick. Sefer HaZohar. The 1st of May, 2000. 1. Void. Hum. 360 degrees expansion, pervading known and unknown matter. Breath. Existence. Him. The first time he was struck by a spontaneous nambula, Marquis Denny was 8 years old. Feet pushing hard on pedals, body leaning against handlebars, the wheels of the bike ahead glistening with sunlight. His attention was seized, and for a moment he saw the heavens in that shimmering rotation. He couldn't take his eyes away. There was pain in the center of his forehead. He was falling from his bike before he knew it. He must have blacked out, because the next thing he was lying on the pavement, elbows and knees raw, the bike a resting animal a yard or so from where he'd fallen. His friends stood over him. Tashari, Karis, Nesta. Marquis let them wrench him to his feet, limping back to his fallen metal steed, waving away their concern, their insistence he looked pale. Soon, they rode in unison again, creaking gears and turning wheels a random symphony beneath them. They stopped outside rusting gates propped open with fallen masonry. Flakes of orange made the once grand entrance look diseased. Grass and weeds stood as high as their waists. A slight breeze made the strands rustle like a whisper of ghosts. They sat on their bikes, staring at the blighted metal. Silent. Nesta edged forwards, thin bicycle tire nudging the gate. He rolled over crumbled stone, standing and stamping on the pedals to gain more power until he was over the obstruction, inside. They followed, one after another. Marcris, Caris, and Tishari, the skinniest child, always last, lifting his chin towards graffitied walls, brow arched, fearful. The building was huge. Not compared to the Ark, of course, though it towered above their heads, 4 stories high. They rode through warped frames of wooden doors into the main entrance hall, craning their necks to look at the roof. Fallen glass left the dusty brown sky exposed. Their school picture book showed chandeliers and birds wheeling overhead, but the boys saw neither. They got used to being alone, speeding up and down once polished marble floors, performing wheelies and long skids, creating miniature desert storms. When they grew bored, they explored alone. Marcris rode past closed ticket booths and parades of empty shops, to the platforms where sleek grand trains once stood. He left his bike against a marble bench and jumped onto the tracks, amongst long grass. Some of the weeds were long green strands that looked like wheat. He lay against cool steel, trying to imagine what it must have been like. The olden days. He closed his eyes. The mute disk of sun hadn't moved by much when he woke. Marcris guessed he hadn't been sleeping long. He climbed back onto the platform, studying the multicolored lines of the Dinium route map, wheeling his bike into the entrance hall. There was no one. He thought they might have left, panicked for a moment, and then heard voices. Relief made him sag against handlebars. He smiled and hummed a soft tune, wheeling his bike in that direction. An open corridor, doors long ripped away or kicked down, black-edged shadows. He paused, biting his lip. The rectangle of light at the opposite end was small and far. Gloom seeped. Marcris called into the expanse. No answer. Partly, he was glad. The faraway voices of his friends reached beyond dark, spun cotton wisps, distant. He made up his mind, rolling over broken glass and wood, careful, into the solid length of night. Daylight seemed consumed by that murky length of corridor. He saw nothing, his own physicality mythical. The only knowledge he existed came from the warmth of his handlebars beneath his fingers, his own harsh breath. The beat inside his chest, hot blood. The corridor smelt musty, damp, and old. Marcris could taste the odor. He covered his mouth, pushing with one hand, which made the going even tougher, the floor beneath him thick with dust. He repeatedly bumped his tire against what felt like heavy blocks of concrete. His bike wheel stuck. He pushed again. Still nothing. Again. No luck. He climbed aboard the pedals, resolving to do what Nesta had, stand up and push down hard. There was a moment before he did this when Marcris had an inkling of what was to come. An image of himself and his friends, sprinting on bikes, screaming faces static. Metallic banging from a place he could not find, like a football smashing against a chain-link fence. A chuckling peal of laughter somewhere beyond his peripheral vision. He felt the sound in his stomach. An ache. He snapped back into the moment, back in the dark corridor, sniffing. Urine. His nose wrinkled. Gotta get out of there. He rose to his feet, smashing down with both feet. The roar came from everywhere, echoing, bouncing from unseen walls. He was pushed violently, hitting something sodden yet hard, recovering to wrench the bike around and back the way he'd come, pedaling fast. He heard shuffling behind him, running footsteps and mushed words like a foreign language. obvious curses.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?